So first and foremost, congratulations for your work because I really enjoyed every single minute of the show, and the last minute it got me nonstop crying for the whole hour. So it was
For an hour.
Oh, yeah, the whole hour it was like crying the whole time. So I've connected with the show in a deeply personal way. It reminds some stories from my family here in Spain, and I wanted to know what made you connect with the project, and why did you embark on it?
I think the source material was so wonderful, and especially for Asian Americans, it's that type of literature is just not abundant. But reading the script also, I think immediately you see how engaging the story could be, and the way they interwove different time periods was really dynamic and profound, and I think for those reasons it was just such an exciting proposition.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really taken and moved that I think about you in Spain watching it and feeling so affected. And it's so specific. The end of the film, she's selling kimchi, and that feels so Korean. And at like a moment that feels both familiar but also unfamiliar to us because we're immigrants as well. But that very idea that a story could be told that was very much about Korean history, but so universal in regards to human drama that we all can connect to it and understand it at a deep level. I think somewhere, even as you were reading the project, that's what you hoped for. So that's I appreciate you sharing that, because that's really, really lovely.
Yeah, specifically the scene where she's selling the kimchi in the end. It was the most emotive from the 8 hours of the show. It's so heartwarming. Yeah.
Wow.
And as you said, Pachinko is some sort of a history lesson. And I wanted to know how was your documentation process, and what were your biggest challenges while covering such a wide historical period in the series?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that credit really is for, Soo-Hugh, who's the showrunner, has been on this project, I think, for 4 years. We came in later, but she has been, I remember once I got on, she gave me a whole list of books that she's been reading and references and documentaries. And it was just it was like a graduate school, syllabus, because she had really deeply sort of researched the layers of the story, and her writer's room did as well. So I think we benefited from all this sort of deep dive that she did, and obviously we tried to do our best to catch up, but it was really there before us.
So I'd like to talk a bit about the visuals and the cinematography. Because I loved it. It's so soft and so gloomy and evocative. And I'm surprised you shot in 235. So I wanted to know what was the process to conceive the look of the show, and how did you work together to make your direction consistent along the 8 episodes?
I think that's also what's exciting about the show, is that we were given the liberty to kind of explore it in our own ways. I think for my episodes, we did do the anamorphic, like you're saying, but also we were able to explore with, different aspect ratios, where for Solomon and older Sanja, we shot with more, spherical lenses that's, not as expansive. I think just naturally, the anamorphic with the older time period is, you just really want to showcase, especially when she's at the village, you just want to showcase the landscape and, have that sort of scope. And then, in the later times, in 1989, 1975, it can be a little bit more introspective and internal, which I thought the spherical was a bit more tight and service that. But
yeah, I mean, I think it was just that, you ask, what kind of visual landscape you want to present, and then figure out first the best aspect ratio for it and the lens, but we did have freedom beyond, the handoff. And I think, by the time you get to episode 4, 5, and 6, the world is changing for young Sunja, in dramatic ways, and the intensity of the oppression and all of that is all really beginning to escalate. And I think, the way Justin captures that stylistically and in his own, signature way, I think is really thrilling. As much as we were knowing that we were creating one series, we also knew that there was space for the way we would approach it to really amplify, the story as well. And so that was exciting.